Welcome to Attican Plays Rise of Industry. All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome to another Rise of Industry video. This is part 3 of our version 6.3 normal difficulty playthrough. And we're on this Iberia map, we're calling it, the Iberia Normal Diner, because we started out with a diner. And just a quick recap, we started out by going lots of debt and building out a full-blown two-set berry pie production assembly so that we could fully meet the demand in Iberia. And while we were waiting on something else good to do, there weren't any other tier 3, because the only thing we've got is an ironmongery up in the other good-sized city, Oberon. So we just ended up filling up our diner with everything that the diner needs. And we started out with chicken soup, then beef stew, then cheese, then chocolate bars, and kind of offline or off camera, so to speak, I've built up apple smoothies and orange juice and flour. So now we are making and providing to Iberia everything that the diner serves, and as close to its maximum demand as we can get. So we're making a ton of money. You can see our ridiculous amounts of money we have now. We need to spend it. And after that was done, I kept going and said, okay, well, I got nothing else to do. Let's start shipping stuff to the ironmongery. So up in Oberon, which is up here, right up here. And we needed coal to do what we wanted to get done. And the only coal is way back here in our home base in Iberia, and then there's some over here, and we needed copper. Your ironmongeries, you need coal to get things done. You need copper to make any kind of copper wire or tubing or anything like that. So we set up. Well, I guess I'll have to say I set up, because you guys weren't even around for it. I set up a ceramics industry down here, using sand and making glass with coal and sand feeding into the glass feeding into the ceramics along with a little sand, and that makes the ceramics. And then we set up our first logistics, and I'm going to go over those, but in this next part I'll show you how to set one up. But we have a truck depot here that picks up the ceramics and ships them up here to a truck depot in Oberon, where we can deliver the ceramics. And we do the same thing with two other industries over here. We set up a diodes industry, and we're shipping diodes, and we expanded. It had some copper wire. We expanded the copper wire and the ore mining so that we could also set up copper wire. So we're shipping copper wire, and I say shipping, I mean trucking. We are sending by truck diodes to Oberon and copper wire to Oberon. We're sending the ceramics to Oberon. So that's 3 industries that we are providing into the ironmongery. And now we want to see what do we want to get into next. And it's getting a little more interesting, because now, look this, we've got construction goods. Now, construction goods is not a great industry, but you can see we've been shipping our excess leather into Iberia to because we're creating it. The thing you have to realize is that when we're doing these cattle farms or chicken farms or sheep farms, for that matter, you're making excess products. So like in the case of cattle, you're actually making 3 products. You're making beef, you're making milk, and you're making or producing beef, milk, and leather. We have no use for the leather yet, but that's about to change. So we've been pumping the leather in there and making a little extra money. And in fact, I'm going to find where we're pumping that in, and that's going to stop probably directly from leather. See, it's going to the Iberia construction goods. We're actually going to cut that off. You'll see why in a minute. And down here, are we sending it in? It's just going to the warehouse there. And how many do we have here? No, we don't have any yet. Okay, so we should have a good leather source right here. How many fields of leather is that? That's 5, full 5. Okay. So the construction goods is a new business in Iberia, but if we go up here, I believe we're going to find something we like in Oberon. Yeah, here's a car parts store. Now they're okay, pretty decent prices, and reasonable stuff that you could sell. Steel frames, $225, not horrible. But there's one pretty good one here. Interior lining is a pretty involved deliverable, a pretty involved product, and it pays average price of $866. So what we want to do now is set up an interior lining business. So we're going to have to do some research and figure out how we're going to do it. And I will show you, first of all, let's go. Sorry, I crack myself up. Every time I do these, the first thing I show you when I want to go to that spreadsheet is this video capture or audio capture thing. So, wow, I got a lot going on here. Too much. All right, there we go. Here's our Rise of Industry planning tool. And we are going to do, what are we going to do? Interior lining. All right, you can see pretty big involved process, a lot of stuff going on, and I believe our demand is 1, but let's just make sure. Yeah, 1 every 15 days. So they want 1 every 15 days. So interesting, for interior lining, for us to fully meet would be 2. Okay. So we could build a full 2. That would be great. We could make like 1.6 million a month in sales if we could have 2 running effectively in there. But now look at all this stuff we have to make. We've got to make, we have to have leather. We have to have wheat, water, wood. We have to now do heavy pulp and cardboard panels, and heavy fabric, which is new for this map and for us, and of course the interior lining. Now, remember what I said about the leather, though. I knew that we were going to go down here. I looked ahead, and here's leather, and we would need 6 farms worth of leather. Well, as it turns out, if we go back up to what we've already done, we have, whoops, where'd she go? We have 5 farms worth of leather right here that isn't being used. Remember, we were shipping it into Iberia to sell, and we could keep doing that and build more, but you're not getting a whole lot of money for it there. But making it part of an interior lining makes it really more valuable. And we've got 4 over here that also could make it. So what we're going to do is set up a couple of routes so that we can take that leather and run it up here to Oberon, to a factory. And what will that also will allow us to do is build this expensive setup without needing the leather. We won't need the wheat because that is for the livestock farm. We won't need as much water because part of the water's for the wheat, part of the water's for the leather. So we won't need that, and we will be able to set up our system. A smaller one, get into this business, very profitable business for a lot less money, and take advantage of something we're already creating. So let's see what we can do away with. We can do away with the wheat, which gets rid of 4 of the waters, and we still need the cotton. We don't need the leather. There's 2.6, so we're at 4.67 of the water we can do without. We still need water for the dye, and we need dye, I think, for the heavy pulp. Yes, the heavy pulp. So if we look at that way, if we think of it the other way, what do we need it for? We need the water for the heavy pulp, 2.67, and we need the water for the dye, 0.67. So we need 3.3, so we should do 4 waters. So we're going to, instead of 13 waters, we only need 4. we don't need the crop fields, and we don't need the leather. So we'll do a 4-water system, and we'll use that water for the cotton, the berries, and for the heavy pulp and the dye. Oh, wait a minute, I left that out. Time. 4, cotton is 2 is 6, berries 7. So we'll need 7, excuse me. We'll need 7 water to match this system, and we save 6 of the water, which is the water that we would have used for the wheat and the, where'd the leather go? And the leather. So let's do a 7-water system and build this up. And let's also, then the question becomes, can we fit all of this stuff efficiently around one warehouse and make it all flow? And let's just see if we've got a good spot. We've got a good spot to get water. That's no problem. We can get our wood right over here if we don't want to, of course we're playing on normal, so we could terraform and create a forest if we wanted to. I think what we're going to do is we will do a little terraforming here. Why not? We're going to get rid of that water there. That's just in the way. And we're going to get rid of this little mounding because it's in the way. So now we've got a nice clean area. We've got some water. We'll go over here for our wood. And we'll bring it all into a warehouse right in here and see how we can do it about setting that whole thing up here in one little area and having a beautiful little interior linings business. So let's put it like so. And let's get our water. We said we wanted, 7 water, wasn't it? Yes. We want 7 water. And we want to make sure that water can get to the warehouse with no trouble. And it won't have an issue because remember we've got, well, I should tell you, we're going to have fast roads and we're going to have, I don't know if we do or not. Do we have? Yes. I've already researched last time offline. I researched all the way through. I did truck depot, truck capacity. So we've got a truck. We can make truck depots. We've got big trucks and we've got fast trucks because we've researched all that. And then over here on our logistics, we have the urban roads, which are faster, and we have fast urban roads so that we can, so that we've got fast trucks on fast roads. So we will have no trouble with, as long as we keep stuff fairly close to this warehouse, we'll have no trouble getting it from where it is over to the warehouse and back before it's needed to go out again. That's the key to keep these things operating efficiently. So we're going to do 7 water over here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you can see I made my favorite mistake with these. I cut this off so the road couldn't go through. We're not going to accept that. We're going to add another harvester and scoot it over one to make room for the road. That is rapidly becoming my favorite mistake. So there's 5 of our water. We could do 2 more over here or over here. Let's do them over here out of the way. They'll have no trouble getting up there in time with the big fast trucks. Well, with the faster roads and everything. So we need 2 water. There we go. So there's our water for our new system. We don't need the wheat. We do need the wood and the berries and the cotton. So let's think about those. The wood, Let's pin this and see where we're going here. Okay, it'll come out to there. So we could put wood right over here somewhere. All right, before I forget, let me do my unnecessary, but I like it. There we go. So let's run our wood off of this right here. And we can put a wood industry. You know what, we may just terraform because I want to make sure it's close enough. Alright, we're getting too far away from the wood, so we're going to have to put a little artificial forest in here. Okay, that's 5. And we need, I think, 7. Yep. So we'll duplicate this. Not what I meant to do. Add a harvester. One other, it is hard to see where the roads are pointing sometimes, I have to say. Okay, there's our wood. Okay, so we've got wood going to the warehouse, we've got water going to the warehouse. And there's something, oh, this one might be out of range. Yeah, it is. So we're going to have to give it a destination in logistics of warehouse 5. Yep. And let's just call this our linings warehouse. There we go. Okay. How are we doing? Need cotton and berries, and then and then all of our industries. So 2 berries, 3 cotton, and we can place those right through here, no problem. And again, let's just put them right here. Let's put which one is this? This is berries. Let's make this cotton and put through. We need to research cotton. In fact, there's probably several researches we may need. Let's go to textiles, cotton, and we're wanting to do interior linings, which is actually in the textiles part of it. And let's do our research and see what else we might need after that's done. Actually, I know we're going to need some paper mill stuff too. So while that's running, we're going to need heavy pulp and cardboard panels. And I do wish when you clicked one down like a tier 2 or 3, it would go over and grab all the other things you need, but not a big deal. So here we're doing our research. We've got wood and water going into our warehouse already. And there's no reason we can't have cotton going in there. And there's no reason we can't have berries going in there. wood and berries, or sorry, berries, cotton. Oh, we need to set up our leather as well. So let's pause for a second. What we're going to do here is put in a truck depot, and we're going to, and let's give that a name. Let's call that one the linings truck. And then over here, how do we want to do this? Let's put a depot in here. And let's have this livestock farm take its leather to this truck depot 7. And let's set up a line between truck depot 7, and we're going to say we want you to pick up leather and go ahead and pick up 12 of them, 3 per truck times 4. And then we add a stop, and we want it to go to our linings truck and go. And I don't recall if I've said this on any of the other videos, but these transport routes must be named. I mean, that's I don't know how to name them. Oh wait, oh, I just clicked it and that worked. This is leather. Oh, I take it back. Thank you, developers. Leather to linings, I'll call it. This is our leather to linings route. Oh, great, excellent. I did not know I could do that. Perfect. All right, leather to linings route. It's up and running. This guy will go to here, and on the other end of it, up here at our warehouse, when the leather arrives, we want you to say, if you see leather, and we'll just make it easy. We'll say dump it in the linings warehouse. Okay, so our truck route has to go between 2 truck stops or depots, but then on the other end, the receiving end, you have it unload wherever you want it. Like up here, we have diodes and ceramics and copper wire being unloaded into Oberon to the ironmongery. In this case, we'll unload into the warehouse so that our manufacturing plants here can use that leather. So now we've got leather coming from there, but we also want leather coming from here. So what we're going to do is tell this guy to take its leather, instead of going to that warehouse. See, it's on auto. And we need the milk in there. Do we need milk for our cheese business? We do, and what's happening here is, as the milk comes into this warehouse, the cheese business is grabbing what it needs, and the rest are being taken off to be sold at market. Am I reading that correctly? Stop that. Come back here. Destinations. Yeah, see, it's going to the farmer's market, but you notice our cheese is up and running. So when milk hits there, the cheese grabs what it wants, the balance is taken. I'm fairly certain that's how it works, because what I've noticed is when you're selling off overages, it never seems to slow down your factory, so they clearly get first shot. So that's perfect. Now here we're selling off leather to the construction goods. We're not going to be doing that anymore. We can continue to take excess vegetables to the farmer's market. That's cool. It's taking them way down to Oberon. We could clean that up a little bit, possibly. And let's see, so now what we want to do is tell this guy, you know what we'll do? We'll keep sending it to the warehouse, but we'll have the warehouse take leather over here to Truck Depot 7. To Logistics, Truck Depot 7. So both of these cattle ranches will be feeding into that centralized truck depot, and that truck depot will be running the leather all the way over here, and we'll be unloading it and using it in our linings. So that should be great. And I'm even going to go through here now that I know I can name these. This is going to be our water to cocoa. This one's going to be ceramics to Oberon. This one can be diodes to Oberon. And this one can be copper wire to Oberon. Beautiful. Now when we have a whole bunch of these going, it'll be easy to find the one that we want. So it's actually worth taking the time to name them. All right. So we should have leather coming into our system. We should have wood, and we'll soon have cotton and berries coming in. And so let's let that run a bit, and let's let it run till we see some leather in there, and then we'll worry about putting in the other factories that we need. And I can show you how this works. If we watch our routes, and we go down here and look at our leather to linings route, see this 11 of 12 are available. It's already got 11 in it. As soon as it hits 12, a fleet of trucks will take off. See, it's at 0. There goes our little fleet. I don't know if you can see those, but let me slow this down. There they are right there. So let's mark one of them. And we can see that guy going. And the only thing that has to happen on your route for it to be effective is they need to get to the other end before this is filled up again with 12. Because they don't have to come back. That's the amazing part. They don't have to come back at all. They just need to go up there, and once they reach it, and they're almost there now, so this is just fine. We don't only need the one fleet. And you can see leather coming in here. That's because it's being unloaded. See, now we've got 12 leather. So we have oh, this is beautiful. So now we've got leather coming up in ample supply up to our potential, are going to be linings, interior linings business. And in fact, our warehouse is already full of wood, so we need to start doing something with this stuff. Okay, so with the wood, since that's getting full, let's start using it. We need the wood for our heavy pulp business. Heavy pulp. So we got 3 paper mills of heavy pulp we need to build. Factories. Paper. Here it is. So let's do 3 of those. And they're all heavy pulp. Perfect. That'll start using the wood. Then we've got, let's just work our way up from the bottom. Heavy pulp, leather. We need 1 dye factory, which is going to use water and berries, which we have. 1 dye would be textiles. And we need to research dye. Textiles. I think we need heavy fabrics, don't we? Yes, we do. So, no, it's light. Where's heavy fabrics? Oh, we've already got that. Okay, that came along with the ride for the interior lining. So let's research dye. Won't take long. There we go. So this is now going to be a dye factory. So we've got our dye. We need 2 fibers. Textiles, we need 2 of them. And that's good, it's fibers. Let's copy that one. Okay, we've got 2 fibers. And we need 3 cardboard panels, which are paper mills. Three cardboard panels. Cardboard panels. Copy and paste. And we need 3 heavy fabric, which are textiles. And these will be heavy fabrics. Copy and paste. Okay. And then we need 2 interior linings, and we have a full-blown system. And they were textiles, right? Yep. Interior lining, and it's going to just deliver directly to, now we could we could run a truck route there, but it's just not necessary. It's such a short haul. And before I set that up, I'm actually going to build a road right there in case that would be shorter. And your destination will be the car parts shop. And we'll copy that and paste it right there. And we should have, after all this gets rocking and rolling, we should have a full-blown interior lining business making us a lot of money and taking advantage of our already existing leather and our truck route. So we can see it's slowly working its way across to the green. Things are becoming green. Everything is well within the distance of this warehouse except this, but they're having, let's just make sure they're not having any trouble getting back and forth in time. Hey, you know what? They are a little slow. So here's what we can do with that. What we can do, we do not want them slow. That'll slow down everything. We're going to put another truck depot right here. And we're going to tell our water, both of them, why not, to go to this truck depot 8. So copy, paste. Then we're going to tell truck depot 8, when you get water, just run it up to the linings warehouse. And we haven't offered a 5 Okay. We'll get a nice reward if we send Oasis 5 beef. And we've got a long time to do it. That should not be a problem. We're creating a bunch of meat right here, so what are we doing with it? We're sending it to a market, so we'll just send it, we'll accept that contract, and we'll send this to there, and we'll try to satisfy that contract. Shouldn't have any trouble with it. And in the meantime, let's go back and see how we're doing on our interior linings business. And we know this is going to work. See, now these waters can run effectively, and we'll use the trucks from this depot. It costs us more money to do it this way, but keeping this whole thing green is much more important than whether or not we spend some money with these trucks. And what we could have done would have been a better design. And I've got to think about this. This is a lesson learned for me. Tighten these up a little bit. I try to make them as big as they can get. We need to, if this was down about right here, that was all it would take. If we just moved this down to right here, it would tighten everything up and we wouldn't have to have that truck depot. But the truck depot is certainly a valid fix for it. So we should, what are we missing on our text, on our, they need cardboard panels and heavy fabric. And the heavy fabric is in process, so we're getting there. Now, and what I was about to say, there we go. Now everything's green. We'll have the occasional blip, but this should be a very strong little thing. But if we were more confident players, what we would do now is say, oh, we got that, let's go build something else. But of course, I have to sit and watch it for a while to make it work out. And how did we do? Okay, so when we start, all right, run. Stop talking, let it run. Now see, our vehicle upkeep is up to about 200,000. This water system right here is costing us some of that, certainly. Oh, we made our contract. That was fast. So remember, anytime you have a contract succeed or fail, whichever way, you've got to go back and remember what you did to ship to it and reset it to where it should be. So we want these guys to go to a farmer's market. Okay. And that's all right. We could set up a trade route for that as well. Maybe we will here in a minute. But let's see if we're getting into our car parts shop. Good. We've got exterior lining, so at the end of the month here we will sell one. There we go. So we sold an interior lining and we made a $4 million profit last month. So we're doing okay. Glass one and okay wood. All right, so over here, this glass factory is full of coal. So we are overproducing coal, and that would make sense. So we have the opportunity, if we wanted, you know, we could very easily sell a little bit of coal. It's going directly to the glass. We could just say, why don't you also go to the hardware store, and we'll just sell off the excess coal. See, there they go. There goes a whole bunch of them. Taking the excess off, then we can sell off our coal. All right, so we're doing okay. We are covering all of our expenses in the first half of the year or month, so second half is pure profit. That is lovely. There we go. And we only made 2.7 million that month. Not bad. All right, so what other trouble can we get into? What's our next best thing? Alternators and headlights, biofuel, all these things are okay. And we could even think about, you know, right now the victory condition, I kind of put victory in quotes, is to make one of those car prototypes. And of course that's a big involved process, but it needs all this kind of stuff in it. So if we set up these industries to in advance, and it depends on what strategy we wanted to take for our car parts. If we wanted to try to, you know, I don't think we can make a profitable business out of it. So I think what we would do is just go ahead and make all these products for our car parts shop here, these 6, and then as time goes by, we can just accumulate what we need to make a prototype car. And right now, I don't think about this game as having so much a victory condition, which, by the way, is what it needs to improve. It needs real objectives, real scenarios that we can enjoy. So K-Wood, we actually have good influence, and they have a construction goods. Now, construction goods are, they're not great either. Refined oil and parchment and glass and, you know, furniture bases and stuff like that. I mean, it's perfectly okay to make all that stuff and to sell it, and it's perfectly okay to make money on it, at least on the normal difficulty, because you will make money on it. On the higher difficulties, you won't necessarily. You might even lose on the raw materials. You'll lose money. So what do we want to get into next? But anyway, what I wanted to show you, the main thing for this episode is to show you that linings business, show you how we're able to set that up using our truck route to move leather, so that we don't have to create yet more leather that we don't really need, get more bang for our buck with the leather by putting it in a high profit lining rather than selling it off at a shop, and setting ourselves up with a nice, look at this, a nice green interior lining business, and making really good profits. So I think we ought to just cut it off right there and say that we've now made some really good progress. I think our next step will probably be to build out, while we're waiting on another industry to open up somewhere so that we can get another tier 3 business going, because that's what we really want. We can look into filling up this car parts shop with all these different pieces. So we're already making cardboard panels. We'd want to make some more. You know, we could make all of these things and pump them into that car parts shop in Oberon and make decent profit from it. And like I said, have those car parts ready when we're ready to think about making the prototype car and declaring victory. So yeah, let's wrap it up right there. I hope you got something good out of this one. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next Rise of Industry video. Thank you.